Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.
Another win for Chris Billam-Smith, another defense for Chris Billam-Smith. He just continues to win and impress. I remember when you originally started doing business with Chris and started promoting him, you want to take him to Bournemouth, and now we're 5 fights in, 5 wins, a world title win, 2 defenses. Why don't you go ahead and just summarize the night for everybody?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for the media coming, because it was a huge turnout, a huge event, special atmosphere again. But Chris just keeps doing the business, and he was levels above tonight. I think never ever write him off. This is his 5th, as you say, win with us. 5 very, very high level fights. His 3rd world title fight. Where does the journey go? I mean, this really is a fairy tale. It really is, and it keeps going and it keeps going. And I think he's getting better and better and better. And I was saying to the team even in fight week, I don't think I've ever seen Chris, one, in such good shape, but even mentally just so ready and so calm. And his whole team this time, even his wife over there, who was so relaxed. It was almost like she's been here, she's done it, she knows the score. She knows what Chris is all about, and I think the whole team feel like that. And so, yeah, the confidence that he's exuding, and then the performance was incredible, and he kept a very dangerous fighter looking very, very lackluster for 12 rounds. And yeah, another brilliant performance in front of a stadium, and he keeps just building and building his stuff.
I'll come to Chris last. I'm going to come to Coach Shane McGuigan. Shane, so we've seen Chris win the European title in a fight of the year, win knockout of the year, dethrone undefeated Okoli, break Masternak's rib to win that after outlasting him, and now beating an undefeated Richard Riakpore and avenging his loss. I mean, where do you go from here? What are you saying to Chris? What's next for him, in your opinion, of where he can develop and take his career forward?
Oh, challenges is the most important thing. You can see when he's up against it, Lawrence Okoli, Richard Riakpore, 2 guys that in the bookies they had them clear favourites. You know, he goes and does it, goes and does the business. He rises to the occasion. Some fighters are fantastic in the gym, got every skill in the world, and other fighters can go and perform and execute out there when it really matters, and that's Chris Billam-Smith. He strives for minor percentages, and over time it's always accumulated. And you know, for right now we've got to go for a unified world title. I would love that. I'd like that against Ramirez or Noel Gee, the WBC world champion, and then we look to box Opetaia early next summer. That's the dream fight, and why wouldn't we want to do that for Undisputed?
Love that. Chris, I'm going to come to you, man. You know, something that I personally, and I think a lot of people in this room have noticed about your fights, is you stay remarkably calm. You don't get over your toes, you listen to your coach as well, you outlast damage, you're like the Terminator, you always just find a way to win. When you're in there, when you were in there tonight, you seemed calm. Is that the right word to use?
Yeah, I think so. That was literally the words. It was calm and reactive and ready. That Richard's a phenomenal fighter, can punch. So you don't want to be having Terminator fights with someone like that and standing there and letting him hit you or pulling out long and letting him hit you at the end of the shot. Shane came out of the game plan. We sat down today in a hotel room, had a good 30-minute chat, and after that I just knew what I had to do. I had locked in my head. It was drilled in the change room. So, you know, yes, I've got to execute the game plan, but I need a game plan first, so all the credit goes to Shane. Before we open it to the audience here, I just want to say, Chris, anything that you want to say specifically, Chris, give you the floor for a minute. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to thank Richard for this, because it's, I get to an Avenger loss, but a great fighter, forget all the build-up and everything that was said, that's just part of boxing, unfortunately. But I've got a huge amount of respect for him, and that's why I was so good tonight, because I perform when I respect my opponents, you know, in terms of what they can do, and I had to execute that game plan because of how dangerous he is, and he's a good bloke as well. I'd like to thank Crystal Palace and Steve Parrish for putting on this show. As a kid, I was a football fan. I wanted to play football in the Premier League, and I wouldn't say I got 2 left feet, but I wasn't good enough. So I've somehow managed to fight at 2 Premier League football stadiums, which is absolutely wild. So thank you to Steve, Ben, Boxer, Sky Sports for that. You know, since we've joined, it's been some journey.
Absolutely. Well, I will open it up to the crowd. We already got one here in front. Or go ahead. Pass it around.
Chris, Shane just said it there about undisputed champion. I mean, Chris Billam-Smith of even 5 years ago, what was that? How like the improvement has just been outstanding. So
we can do in life is improve, right? You're never finished as a human being in terms of trying to improve for me, as a father, as a human, as a person on the street, as a fighter, every day. I mean, I probably wind my wife up all the time thinking I could do better there, or we can do better there, we can be nicer here, we can work harder here. It's just in me, I don't know what it is, it's just a growth mindset, and I just want to keep improving, whether that's in or out of the ring, or boxing related, or family related, or husband related. It doesn't matter what it is, I want to be better in every area of my life, and that's all I strive for.
To unify now, I mean, world champion would have been, even when you started boxing, maybe beyond your dreams, to be a unified champion now. Is that like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, got to go and do it. But yeah, no, it's. I think it feels like less of a step than going to become world champion, because that's the ultimate dream. But yeah, to be unified, and then aim for undisputed as well. Obviously, one step at a time. But yeah, you know, unification is what we're looking at.
Right, just me. Boss Vegas, you said it to me before the fight, and I glossed over. I didn't really understand what you meant. But do you want to tell us a bit about it, and what would it mean to fight in Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, Boston, which is the suburb of Bournemouth, where the Bournemouth Stadium is, and my favourite breakfast spot is called Boston, and everyone calls it Las Vegas. So yeah, Las Vegas to Las Vegas. I said it really early on in my career, because I had my debut there in the O2 Academy, which is in Boston, or in Las Vegas. So I was like, one day there'll be a documentary, Las Vegas to Las Vegas, and yeah, we might nearly do that.
Congratulations on your performance and on retaining the title. Really, questions from me really is that, first question from me is, you know, what was the sort of difference between fighting Richard Riakpore now and then from your first fight 5 years ago? And also in terms of coming out of the atmosphere like Selhurst Park, especially as the fans were on his side, how difficult was it to sort of come out, you know, performing in front of a crowd that isn't necessarily behind you?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, difference to Richard 5 years ago is experience. He won the first fight because he had experience, and I won this fight because I got more experience. And they're important. The experience you can't buy, you can't fake it, you can't steal it. You just can't. You have to go through it. So the experience I've had, the ups, downs, the bad performances, or tough fights, or whatever it is, all that, and the levels and levels that I've gone through is everything, in the gym or in the ring. So that huge amount of experience is important. And yeah, look, the fans are booing me, which is what I expected as I faced them on my ring walk. Excuse me. But they, I expected it. You know, it's what Lawrence had to go through. And I have no hard feelings against the fans. Like I said, we're all Crystal Palace fans this summer, supporting England anyway. So yeah, it was great, and I just had to come in and do a job.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, congratulations. Talk to me about the relationship between yourself and the man next to you, and how important was he in giving that game plan to you today?
Ben didn't give me a game plan. I'm joking. No, Shane, me and Shane's one of my best mates. We've only known each other 7 years, but we've been through a hell of a lot together. Career. No, 7 years the other day, so I joined the gym. Hey, come on, I know what
you listen, he come in. When I first took George Groves on, well, we rang up Chris, and he was basically the sparring partner for George Groves to sort of, when we started working together, I said, oh, there's a good kid that's game, and you know, he'll come and give you some good rounds. And Chris come down, and
that was about 8 years ago.
2015, so that's how.
Yeah, 8, 9 years ago. But yeah, Yeah, look, me and Shane have got a great relationship. The game plan today was so important. I was like, let's go through it. Like in my room this afternoon, went through it, and it's perfect. Just calmed all the nerves. I just knew what I had to do every second of every round, and I did it from most of the fight. Obviously, I probably had a round off here and there, maybe at the start of the first round as well. He got his jab off a bit too much, but yeah, it was crucial. And Shane's such a great tactician. He watched a couple of fights of Richards and was like, "This is what you got to do," and that's all it takes with Shane, because he just knows the game inside out. His knowledge is second to none. And like I said, he deserves so much credit.
I thought Richards' clinch-heavy approach was sort of similar to the win against Cody last year. Did that surprise you in there? Did you sort of feel that comparison as well?
Yeah, I said that it's similar to the Lawrence fight. It felt similar to the Lawrence fight in terms of he's the power puncher, he's this, that. And in the first fight with Richard, he held a lot, you know. I knew he was going to hold a lot, and he was getting my left arm under his right arm because he knows I'm good with my left hand. So it's difficult to get proper clean shots off, and no one likes to let me work on the inside because it's not the right thing to do. So a lot of people hold, and then obviously the head was coming in as well. But you've got to do what you got to do in there. So yeah, I expected it, to be honest. Thank you.
Matt Lanahan for Boxing Social. Shane, I just asked you, you've worked with a lot of fighters over the years. Chris seems to be getting better and better with each fight. How many more levels do you think he's got to go, and what's he like to work with on a day-to-day in the gym?
He's been unbelievable to work with. You know, as a coach, you have to be able to add value to the fighter, and you also have to be able to maximise them. And I want to get to the end of Chris Billam-Smith's career and say there's not 1 extra percent left in you. And even though he'd won a world title, there was still more percentage, you know, in him, because it's just from at the top level. Physically, he's there, but how you strategically manage your energy throughout the fight, and that confidence and belief that you've got, that's where you get your extra percentages. And I feel like 2 stadium fights, that's his 3rd world title fight. You know, it's phenomenal, and that's where you get that confidence and that experience. And you know, I'm incredibly proud of him. Obviously, I'm going to get credit, of course, because he didn't come to me through the GB system. But you have to be able to have an athlete that's willing to go above and beyond and look for percentages here and there, and that's exactly what he's done. You know, you can't discredit the work that he's doing because of you know the results. It's like, you know, the 2 of us have been working together. We always great conversation. We're always analysing things and looking. There's no finger pointing or nothing like that. You know, he had a loss against Riakpore. We went back and we just built on it. And even in that last performance, he had a slightly bad performance, but you know, we both went back and we both stripped it all down and said, how do we need to get better? How can we get better on this one? And that's exactly what he went and did. And it was 10 times the performance of what Masterneck was.
All right, guys. Well, we got to let Chris get out of here. He's got a family to get back to. You all got families to get back to. Thank you all for hanging around. Happy Father's Day. It's officially Father's Day to all the dads out there, including this one right here. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Thank you for coming.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.